Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a terrific and thankful Thursday on today. Make sure y'all tap that like button. It is for free. Let everyone know that we are live. Also, this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. All right, y'all. So let me know. Put a 1 if my sound is good. I just want to make sure before we get into it. All right, let's see who we have here so far. Hey, Buttercup, welcome. Good morning, sis, and thank you for being first in the building. Okay, Clarinetta, thank you. Hey, Angel, welcome. Thank you for tapping in. Hey, Karen, good morning, sis. Okay. Let's see. Even Buttercup said it's a thankful Thursday. Hey, Sugar Mama Main, welcome. Hey, Janet, thank you for tapping in. Dana Keys, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, Tabitha, good morning. Clarinetta is in the building. Welcome. Hey, Nicola, welcome. Bessie Ain't Messy is in the building. Thank you for joining. Grand Rising Sonia, thank you for tapping in. Hey, Lunatic Menace, thank you. And I appreciate you for hitting that like button. Okay. And he said, justice for Nolan Wells. Okay. Thank you so much. Hey, Irma. No, who is this? Reno. Did I see Irma and miss her name? Maybe not. Maybe she's here in spirit. She hadn't arrived in the flesh yet. Okay. Hey, Reno, welcome. Thank you for joining. Clarinetta said, "It's God did it season." Okay, come on now. I received that. Hey, Black Butterfly, good morning. She said, "Good morning, justice for Carmelo Anthony today and Nolan." Yes, okay. We definitely have both of these situations lifted up in prayer. Hey, Peanut. Yes, it definitely will be a long day. Yesterday, y'all, was a long day as well. And when I tell y'all I am sleepy, I have coffee on board. I told you I was going to sleep last night. Y'all, I was up looking at stuff, posting stuff on the community posting stuff on the community wall and everything. So make sure y'all check out the updates, especially the members also. Hey, hello, Barbara. Welcome. Shout out to Unknown Donor. Thank you so much for the super sticker and for you being a sponsor for today's live. Hey, isn't she lovely? Welcome, Detective Sheila is in the building. There's my girl, Mama Magazine. Welcome, sis. Thank you so much for tapping in. Clarinetta said Elmore had me crying heavy last night. Yes, y'all. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I know that his mom is having a hard time as well. But y'all, for some reason, I just really feel that Mr. Elmore, Nolan's father, is so broken right now. And you can just sense it every time you see him, and understandably so. every time you see him and when he's trying to just push through this. So keep both of them lifted up in prayer. Men grieve differently, and so just really, I was praying on my way to work for him. God just laid him on my heart specifically. He is so hurt by this, y'all. And I think he has even pent up anger, that he's trying to do the right thing, trying to be professional and so forth, and keep his composure. But that man is broken behind this. And I sense it every time I see him talk. He's trying to also be there for his family because, see, the head of the household, they have it really hard because not only is he working through his grieving process, but he's also being there for his family. He's trying to probably be strong for his wife and for his kids. So yes, I did notice that. I know that's right. Isn't she lovely? I've got a feeling everything is gonna be all right. Come on now. Shout out to you, sis, for the jewels and for you being a sponsor for today's live. Hey, Peanut said, I've been stalking folks again today and will continue, even though I don't think it will be a decision today. Uh-oh, you don't think they're going to make a decision today? Shout out to Hello Barbara for the super chat and for you also being a sponsor. Grand Rising Queen Augustine. Just know what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You better say that. Sugar Mama May said, not only to lose your son, but to think that all of these people are at the hands of it and it being so public, listening to them talk must make him so sick. Exactly. And when you can see through the BS, okay, and the lies, that's the part that makes it extra. His daddy knows what happened and he can't react and do what he wants to. Exactly. Right. Hey, Barb, good morning. Let's see. He said thank God for his wife because she keeps him grounded. Yeah, you can tell. I love their body language and how they hold on to each other. Because when you go through deaths and families, child, your spouse, that's when you really, really need them, and they see you, in a different light. I know. I was married too. When I lost my mom, it's been almost 9 years ago, and so my husband was a great support, during that time. And my grandmother. I lost my grandmother probably, I think, 2 or 3 years before my mom. So I went through some big deaths while I've been married, and my husband has truly been strong for me. So I get it. Men want to make sure that their wives are good. And so I sensed that with him. But last night, y'all didn't see the prayer rally last night. Make sure y'all tap into that. I shared it on my community wall again. It was very powerful, y'all. Pastor Jamal Bryant was really, and he didn't stay up long. But when I tell you, he came in, baby, okay, and laid it on the floor. And it was such a powerful sermon that he gave. And they had a special moment for Nolan's family. They had a cake and candles and so forth. They blew out. Hey, HGY, we haven't even gotten into it. You are right on time. Hey, phenomenal Scorpio. Hey, Peanut said Nolan's father and grandfather, his grandfather had outbursts as well. Oh, really? See, I haven't seen his grandfather outbursts. You can tell the parents raising their children well. Exactly, exactly. Um, a couple of things. So today is Carmelo Anthony's second hearing. Okay. And I shared that prayer again because we believe in God. He did a great work on yesterday. So we're believing him for another round of that victory on today. He has a hearing for motion for a new trial. The judge that's overseeing and presiding over this hearing is Judge Chitty. Okay. Now, yesterday, what's her name? Oh my gosh. How come it's slipping my mind? But Sherelle, that's who it was. Sherelle Hodges. She did a short video, and child, I was tickled at the same time. But she was so excited that gave me a little hope. Yeah, I would say it increased my faith. She said, Judge Chetty, is that who gonna be over Carmelo's trial or hearing tomorrow? Oh, Carmelo, you good. She was like, you good. Because she said that allegedly, hey T Lady Boogie, good morning, sis. Allegedly she had a case, she said, with a car situation where she paid $20,000 for a vehicle, and I guess she was being sued or something behind it, and it ended up in his court. And so said that he's down to earth. He goes by the book. He's not for all the foolishness. So hey, hopefully, child, that made me laugh and made me feel better before I went to bed when I saw that. So we can't always judge a book by how they're looking on their pictures and so forth. If they look mean or like they about that MAGA stuff, we don't know. Okay. But we are praying God can turn the hearts of anyone. Because they said that Judge Sid yesterday, he didn't seem like he wanted to do the right thing, but he did. Okay, come on now. So we will definitely keep you all posted as far as what the outcome of Carmelo Anthony's trial is on today. All right. Well, let's hope and pray because some are saying he's worse than Judge Roach. Uh-oh. I hope not. Just hearing that, I feel, yeah, right, Karen. When I saw her post, now I hope she's telling the truth. I don't think she would have a reason to lie that she went to his court and things like that. But hey, we'll see. Yes, the mother's father was one of the first to publicly speak out regarding his disgust and that this, oh yeah, he did, that this wasn't an accident. He questioned how he was found and they had just searched there. Yeah, I noticed that. Hmm. Um, so then y'all, speaking of Carmelo, something funny yesterday. Y'all know I've been boycotting. Me and my family have been boycotting that resort there, Universal Resort. So yesterday, my son, I was telling him the good news about Carmelo Anthony. Y'all kids don't forget anything. The first thing he said, "Oh, can we go to the Universal Kids Resort now?" He not even concerned, y'all, about the whole case and stuff like that. He knows mommy and daddy say they boycotting until this stuff is straight. I said, well, son, wait, we got another day tomorrow. Let's see what they do tomorrow first. But it was so cute, y'all. He wanted Carmelo to come to Universal Kids Resort with him. And I felt that was so, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. And so I forgot to take a picture of it. He did like this little, he's writing he has his own book that we have to put out. Y'all who pray for me because I'm trying to get this at least in an ebook before his birthday next month because it's almost finished. But he did a cover and it was about the Carmelo Anthony story. And he wrote it out in big letters. And then at the bottom, he put what did he put? 2007. I said, well, that's a little late, son. Are you talking about next year? He's like, oh, just forget that. Yeah, 2027. Like he's going to write a book about Carmelo Anthony. So he wants Carmelo Anthony to go to the Universal Kids Resort with him, and he wants to write the Carmelo Anthony story. And I was like, oh my God. And my son is 8, y'all. So when kids just do things like that, it is just the sweetest thing. And their little hearts are so pure. Like they haven't heard about all this extra stuff. He just knows Carmelo's been in jail. I didn't go into the full thing, with him about it. And so he's like, well, will he be able to get there? Where does he live? I said, well, he lives by there. If he's home by then, we'll see what his mommy says. But he wants Carmelo to go with him. And then y'all, something else last night for those of you, we are HGY. I agree with that. For those of you who were on the live last night, and I was telling y'all, well, I was sitting in the window. I still keep the blind open for some reason until I just really get ready for bed. But I could see out to the lake, which is not far, it's like right next to where we are. So never have I seen it like this before because it's usually just dark down there, right? Well, last night when I had the blind open and as we were live, there was a streak across the lake, like a light. You know how like the moon glistens from the sky and it casts a light across the lake? Well, I looked out the window and I'm looking like, I've never seen that before, and so I told everyone that was on the live about it. Y'all, I got up to go and get some water, came back because I wanted to look out there at that light again. It was gone, y'all. It was gone. And the moon was still up. That's what's so odd because I said, well, maybe it was just the moon casting, that little light. And now, but the moon was still up. So it was just so symbolic. I said, God, I just took that as a sign that things are going to come to light in this Nolan Wells case, y'all. I just feel like some things are getting closer to the truth really being exposed. We're getting like appetizers recently with this little part and this little part. And I feel like God is shifting some things, moving some things. People are going to start talking. I don't know if y'all saw the short that I shared last night. Shout out to Royal D. She had sent me this video from Reverend Al Sharpton. They must have had like a virtual prayer, something, a vigil, I guess yesterday, midday or whatever. I missed that. But he said that while they were on live, um, on this virtual thing, that he had gotten word that somebody was watching, that knew what happened, I guess, that day, or that was there with Nolan, and he was encouraging them to speak up about it. And he even said, we will pay for your lawyer. This family just wants answers. So he's saying if they're afraid, contact Attorney Ben Crump's office, let them know. And if they feel like they're going to need a lawyer, the Al Sharpton's people will even pay for an attorney for them. I was like, what? So I don't know who it was that they got word about, but y'all know the last time he got word of something, that was that 50, was it $50,000 from Tyler Perry while he was at a whole funeral, and he got word from Tyler Perry. Baby, they know how to get in touch with Al. Okay. Child, they know how to get in touch with him. Yes, clarinet. Hey, if I didn't know that God speaks to me in different ways like that, I probably would have been scared. But it was so symbolic that while that live was going on, now I don't know how long it had been like that. It was just in the moment when I told y'all about it last night, when I looked out there and I was like, man, I ain't never seen this light across the lake like that. It was just like a streak of light, and you could see the water flowing. And so afterwards, went to get some water, came back sitting down, line still open. I'm looking out there for this light. Child, the light was gone. Okay, so I guess after that prayer vigil paper, they were gone. Whatever happened, okay. I was like, wow, y'all, we getting closer. It was definitely a sign. OB, my fingers moving so fast, girl. Okay, hey, beautiful dreamer. Good morning. Yes, he did. I saw the lot. Okay, so you saw it. Okay, see, I wasn't on that one. Hey, Hanada, welcome, Linda. I wasn't on that one. Karen said, what confused me is when the MDMR was investigating the other boat and arrived to the home of Wyatt to inspect the boat, they got a call that Jackson County was taken over. Yes, Karen, that has always been a red flag to me as well, because I feel like with the MDMR, they probably could have gotten more info and probably have gotten way further than what we have now. I feel that the Jackson County people, and this is just my opinion, will show some favoritism. It's like, to me, a conflict of interest because they're all so closely connected and related and friends with these people, that they're not going to want to lock up their friends' kids and things. Okay. That a lot of these people are connected. We're going to delve into, hey, Edward, welcome. Nothing but God's angels getting to work to expose Satan and his people. Right. Okay, wait. What happened on the live? I stepped out for a minute and missed the first part. Oh, we were just talking about during the live last night that there was a streak of white light glistening across the lake. Where I could see it through my window at it, but it's never been like that. It's usually just dark down there, and I could see the lights from in the surrounding area off the light poles and things like that. But it was specifically glistening across the lake. I'd never seen that. Just thought it was just odd. And I mentioned it during my live. So after the live, I went to get some water, came back, sat in that same spot, looked through because my blinds were still open. And I said, wait a second, that light is gone. But the moon was still up there. So it wasn't just the reflection of the moon and it's never been like that anyways. Even when the moon I've never seen that. It was so bright, right? Y'all, if I didn't know God, I probably would have been scared. Okay, Clarinetta. They mislabeled the boat. Yeah, so that's the thing. They didn't check all of the boats, and I feel like it's a conflict of interest. Tomorrow we're gonna tap into um this new Ocean Springs Island RV, I think it's RV resort. I want us to tap into that. There was a whole process, 2 years of them trying to get this project approved. Okay. Now, some of this, y'all, we got to look at the bigger picture of why there could possibly be some type of cover up. Um, they don't want certain things to stain that part of Ocean Springs, that part of Mississippi, and so forth. Okay. Because we got to look at the bigger pictures too. There are also people that privately own Horn Island. Okay. I did find one person that is documented as one of the owners of one of the parcels there, Horn Island. Most of it is federally owned, but there are some people that privately own parts of Horn Island. So if you are the owner, this is the same conversation that I had even with the Ashley Janae case. For those of you who followed that case, um, that resort was not going to want to have a homicide there at their resort. Okay. They didn't want any foul play. They didn't want any homicide. So notice there to me was not a thorough investigation. That's just my opinion. I feel that there was some foul play, even based off of some of the details of that case. They wanted it like cut close. Don't talk about it no more because they make a lot of money from the tourism there at that resort, okay, in Tanzania. Same thing with this resort, okay, they're about to build. I think it's supposed to open towards the end of this year, early next year, okay? That is going to pull in the dollars. So you don't want negative press. You don't want a possible homicide to stain that part of that state or that city. Okay, so that's something we'll tap more into on tomorrow. The guys who did interview joined the Zoom prayer yesterday and had their cameras on. I think it was performative. I took, oh, really, Brittany? Okay, I didn't know that. Hey, Georgia Peach. Beautiful Dreamer said that you see the old video of the weird landing location with anchors near a half circle of benches. Oh, at Fort Bio? Is that the one you were talking about? I've seen that video. Yes, that is eerie. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that video. Did we look at that here? Because I knew somebody had sent it to me. I don't know if I ever showed it to y'all though. But it was at Fort Bio. It was like a whole altar thing. Had the benches in a semicircle. Then it had like a little fire pit. It was weird. I don't know. Them kind of places I don't like going to. I'm about the Al Sharp part. Who knows that? Al Sharp. Oh, with the vigil yesterday, he said that uh, someone was watching their virtual vigil that they had, and said that whoever it was must have been with Nolan that day and knew something, and he was encouraging them to come forward, speak to attorney Ben Crump's team, and then he would pay if they felt like they needed a lawyer, that they would pay for that person's lawyer. That's how much they want answers. Shout out to Smiley for the super sticker and for you being a sponsor for today's live. Also, shout out to Smiley. She has now gifted 5 memberships. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, sis. Okay, let's see. Who received those memberships? Linda, Hanada, Beautiful Dreamer, Scorpio, Scorpio Stings, and Sapphire Virgo. Welcome to the Open Book members. You were already family, but now you are a member. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think I just answered that. Hello, Barbara. Okay, because I was behind in the chat. I was in Biloxi last year around the 4th at the casino and on the beach. Okay, see what I'm saying? So that casino pulls in money. Then if they have this resort, that's gonna pull in money. Okay. Hey, Karen Michelle, welcome. Let's see. Phenomenal said, I hope whoever that person is will come forward for them to be attending the prayer. I could assume they are black, possibly. that vigil was monumental. Mrs. Christine said Nolan loved God and church, so it was so fitting. Oh wow, I'm gonna have to find that because I didn't know it was a midday vigil. I bet Jax will take the offer because he is a political generational. I bet it will be him to protect his future. Okay. Yeah, it was the three who were on that interview, Warren, Jackson, Morgan, who joined the Zoom prayer. They did? I'm glad Reverend Al offered it since it seemed like they were monitoring spirit. Not monitoring spirit. Wait, are y'all saying Warren, Jax, and Morgan were on the Zoom? Is that what y'all saying? Hey, Jacqueline, welcome everyone coming on in. Have y'all seen the customized Chevelle with that's a memorial to Nolan Wilson? No, I haven't. I haven't. What in the world? Are y'all saying they were on the Zoom? Oh my gosh. Now, speaking of vigils, let me show y'all some of the pictures, right, of Mama Madison. Girl, I'm going to definitely have to find that today. Because what? And they showed their faces? They were? Hey, Aunt. Child, this is new info to me. They were on there with their cameras on. Yes, I took screenshots of them in the Zoom call. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna look for that, y'all. we I don't know if I'm gonna get to it on this live, but y'all, what? I gotta find let me make a note. Um, because y'all giving me new info I didn't even know about. Okay, so the boys on the Zoom. I hope that they had that recorded where we can go back to it. If they were probably told to by Cox. Uh-oh. And they did now, hey Roger, and they did that post. I shared that on my community wall from the lawyer. I said, so look, now maybe they trying to do some damage control for real. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, let me put that in there. Hold on, sis. Oh my goodness. I got to show the mods how to get to this link. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it in there. Who asked? Was that Brittany? Okay. Because this is something new that they have with YouTube. Okay, Brittany, I just put that in there for you. Yeah, we're gonna have to tap into that. Okay, that's hard to believe. So devils still go to church. Girl, yes, every Sunday. They thought he was gonna say something about them. They wanted people. Oh, okay. Hey, Sapphire Virgo. Yes. Okay. Um, yes, you were gifted from, oh Lord, who just gifted the memberships, y'all? Um, Smiley. Was it Smiley? Smiley just gifted 5 memberships. So congratulations, sis. All right, so let me pull up uh these pictures. So last night at the vigil, I went back, y'all, to look for. I always come across stuff when I'm not looking for it, and I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, I went to Pastor Jamal Bryant's page, and oh, it was 500 people that attended. Oh, wow! Thank you, isn't she lovely? To God be the glory. Okay, thank you, Brittany. Um, And so I was going back to his podcast video because I wanted to find that snippet of them doing the whole birthday cake thing. And so while I was in there, y'all, the camera was panning and it panned right on Tashima. And I saw Jalen, her older son, Jalen, in there. And I say, wait a second, is that Tashima? Baby, I kept rewinding because I'm like, oh no, no, Smiley, you're fine. Um, and I was like, wait a second, I kept rewinding, but I didn't see Javon at first, until she had posted some pictures. So last night at the vigil there at with Pastor Jamal Bryant, a lot of them were there. I said, well, shoes, was this the whole gang of people that went to get the fun? Because baby, they show up in numbers. Okay, and I think this first photo was a photo from his funeral. And then this was a video, and I turned off the sound because it has some music, so I didn't want to, but she was showing dedicating this to Nolan for his birthday. So this was, I guess, one of the videos where they were having fun during one of his birthdays or a special moment that she was sharing. There's Jalen. I don't know who that little boy is. And they look a little younger. And then here's a picture from last night that she shared. So we see Tashima's on the left, and then there's Javon next to his mom. Then you have Mr. Elmore there. Sheila said, funny how they ain't been showing up for nothing until we called them out for not showing up. Now all of a sudden they want to show up. Yeah, and when it's virtual. Okay, hey News Cruise. She said, what Natasha St. Not Natasha St. Patrick going on. Now the little boy, I don't know, maybe that is that the little brother, but Mr. Elmore, I see the older son, one of the older sons back there in the back. He looks like him. Okay. I don't know who some of the other people are in the back. Then we see Christine. I think this is another one of their sons standing in the front. Then we see Jalen back there to his what left. Someone's head is back there, and then this other young man, I don't know if that's one of Tashima's sons and possibly her mom. I don't know. But this is a beautiful picture. If I was Nolan's mom, I would have had their names on a security list at the funeral anyways. Oh, okay. Hey, Queen Patrice is in the building. Is that who it is? Which one? Because child, his name been coming up and I can't put a face with the name. he he was probably part of the crew that went to get the phone and stuff. Baby, they don't play, okay? Them YT folks don't want them holy hands laid on them. Okay, I think they're still scared from the phone collection, not the phone collection. Y'all, I'm trying not to laugh too much, child. Y'all be tickling me, not the phone collection. I know y'all sometimes don't even try to be funny, but some of y'all comments make me laugh. Oh my gosh, I know my aunties, and they would have made them shit their pants without raising a voice. Okay. Hey, Nurse M, welcome. My phone. Now, y'all supposed to tell me if I'm breaking up. How long I been breaking up? Is this better? Y'all put a one if that's better. Now, Nurse M had to come in here and tell me I'm breaking up. Y'all let me know, morning crew. Is this better? Put a one if it's better. Okay, thank you. It's clear. Okay, because y'all know y'all can't. Okay, good. Because I say y'all know to let me know because I got two devices so I can always see the YouTube side first before the StreamYard. Okay, let's see what was the next picture. Okay, this one, and y'all, I think the guy that's with the bow tie, Charlotte, I think they got the Nation of Islam as security because and this alleged, but when I okay, thank you, Nurse M. Yes, this was from last night. Patrice. Now, last night when I was looking at that video from Pastor Jamal Bryant's podcast, then that's when I saw when the family walked in because they had saved seats. Oh, okay. The volume low? Hmm. How's the volume low? Baby, because I'm talking loud. Okay. Let me see my mic. Okay, some people saying they hearing it fine. Okay. Um, but maybe sis, are you able to cut your phone up a little? Because I thought I was talking loud. Now, one time I was talking low. Okay, hey Delta Roots, thank y'all so much. Hey SoCal. Okay, thank y'all. Y'all just let me know if it's bad or something. But it looked like everybody been good so far. Right, I love these pictures too. So Cal said Elmore is supporting his wife right now. He's a good man. Yes, I agree. But he ran into that hardened looking barber on the streets after that loser did an interview. We ain't heard from the barber. Wait a minute, where is the barber? The barber wasn't here. Okay, okay, thank y'all so much. Good. Okay. Um, so I don't know. I ain't seen that barber since he did, I think, two more interviews after that, and baby. Uh no, you find phenomenal. We just want to make sure. We just want to be sure. And so when they were walking in, when the family was walking in, they had the guys all up in their faces, with the cameras, of course. But this guy with the bow tie, he was kind of leading them in. So I'm wondering, is he providing a level of security for the family? But this is Jalen on the left. Then you have attorney Ben Crump. Then you have Javon. And then on the right, I don't know, but it looks like one of their sons, y'all. I hate that I don't have the names. I need to research that, kind of know their names and so forth. But this looks to be like one of Christine and Elmore's sons on the far right. I love this picture. Then they have the balloons, in the background. Uh, all is fine for me. Some folks, uh, when it comes out. Now, what, we ain't gonna do my sis now. She just said she couldn't hear me. Y'all are crazy. Let's see here. Shout out to Patrice for the super chat and for being a sponsor. I'm loving seeing the young guys with Crump. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I want to put an APB out on their park ranger. Girl, I heard the park ranger didn't exist. Okay, allegedly, child. I don't know, but we're hearing that that park ranger was just the front. That y'all know those people probably were pulled up and pretended like somebody else, and they were already just right there. Like, oh, he found, who is he? Okay, did the person ever do an interview or what? Shout out to Linda for the jewels and for you being a sponsor. Hey Becca, welcome. He's irrelevant, just wanted attention. Yeah, the barber. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's Nolan's brother. Yeah, Karen Michelle, she was playing. The barber shouldn't have told anyone he was a barber looking like that. Now y'all are crazy. So someone brought up a good point today. Uh okay, that could be why, says, yep. If it's on TV, sometimes it is low like that. That they brought up a good point about Javon, that they since Javon was truly a friend to Nolan, but right now, if he does know something, that he could be afraid and trying to protect himself and his family. In which I've been saying that. I don't feel like Javon did anything to Nolan. I just felt like there was some things that he does know. I don't feel like the full truth is now put out, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come forward or say anything if he does know more. Um, Man, and they felt like it was eating him up inside, from not speaking up. I seen in my comment that someone said the park ranger said small boat with the lights off, speeded off right before he was found. Really? I haven't even seen that. Uh-huh. That's weird. Now, is that the last photo? Oh, okay. This is when they were singing happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, encore. Happy birthday.
Different key.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. One last time, do it again. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
That was a beautiful moment. Wow.
Come on, let's thank God for the gift of life.
Wow. That was a special moment. I know that was hard, but I'm so glad that they had a lot of family surrounding them. Okay, thank you, Brittany. Let's see here. His mama said she is not scared of anyone. Okay. Right, Money Ben. We're gonna definitely catch him in a good lie. Okay, you saw it last night? Yeah. She's a soldier for sure. Some people should have mouth aside. Girl, I think the choir didn't even know how to help cover him. Okay. You know how sometimes the choir come in and they kind of help you out. They didn't know where to go. I said, Pastor, let somebody else in the church house lead this happy birthday song because you in a different key that they don't even know. The lady recording is all I'm gonna say. Well, that may have been Tashima, Chinese. That's her video. Okay. I'm just sad. Nolan was a shining star. I never knew him, but I can see he had a good heart. He was just a good young man. Yes, definitely. Linda said what hurts the most is these kids sit in your home like they really love your child, but be willing to on watch up on your child whenever switch up on your child whenever an opportunity presents itself. This generation only cares about clout, yep, and themselves. Okay, yeah. Javon's mom is not afraid either. Mm-mm. No, I'm just sad Nolan was a shining star. I never knew him, but I can see he had a good heart. He was a good young man. Rest in peace. Right. And you know what? This very thing, SoCal, this is where I was this morning. When I was getting ready, because y'all, even when I get up, y'all, this just be, it's is really on my heart. When I go to bed, I done knocked my little heater down. When I go to bed and when I wake up, I know when we talk about all of this, right? We trying to get to the bottom of what happened. And one question that still remains is why Nolan, y'all? Like, why did y'all like? Let me watch how I word this because I don't want it to be like I'm accusing someone. But if something, or someone did something to him, and he was such, we've heard great things. Even they said during these interviews how great he was. Why all of a sudden? And I know, yeah, we talking about jealousy and things like that. Um, it's just so hard for me to wrap my mind around how you could turn on someone to this degree and them being so kind, and not doing anything to anyone as far as that we know of. Everyone has said just great things. Like, I don't know how people could have this heart to want to harm him like that, and then if what we're hearing in these letters and so forth about his final moments, that makes it even worse, y'all. Like, very heartbreaking. So I don't know, that I struggle with that. I really do. And I get the whole, yeah, they were jealous, and I've even said I don't think they wanted him to get till Monday. His the season was changing and he was about to do some great things. But in the moment, like, how can people be so cruel? It's just so heartbreaking. Hey Ray Ray, welcome. What I've learned in life is being so kind and so nice can make you a heavy target. And you're right, HGY. You don't have to bother anyone nowadays. And you'll have people coming for you, trying to, do whatever, hating on you for what? When you don't even know they exist. Are you never been mean to them or anything like that? Like, it is so weird. Hey, Ian, good morning. It's been a plotted plan for a while. So you think this was something that could have been possibly planned for a while? His friend Trace, yep, you're right, bro Jay. His friend Trace Carter allegedly, based off what he said, um, he had text Nolan saying that, to be careful. So I don't know if he knew something about these guys. And sometimes, y'all, because Nolan probably had such a big heart, he probably struggled with that. Sometimes you can have such a big heart where it almost works against you at times. And I think his mom was trying to say that one day, where you want to see the best in people. Okay. And you kind of are too forgiving, and you I guess overlook some of the red flags sometimes. because you want to be that friend to people. You want to get them to feel encouraged and to have fun. And so if they are treating you a certain type of way, you might overlook it sometimes, or you might say, oh, it's okay, man, and you move on. Was he too forgiving? Was his heart too big? And then did the outsiders, other people, did they notice how these so-called friends were acting? Okay, and they peeped it, whereas he didn't really peep it like that from being on the inside. Like, for example, with Javon, I think some of the differences between Javon and Jalen, Javon also knows these boys too and are connected to them as well. I think even more so than Jalen. Okay, we've heard that Warren said that Javon is also his friend too. Okay, Javon is also connected to Tristan. It's some of these other ones that we're hearing him, and I think that's where his name comes more into this, as to how connected were y'all, and did you know anything, or how these boys could have possibly been treating Nolan, so it's just so many question marks, because you're not capable of hate and harm. You don't resonate with that frequency. Oh, okay, that's good. It's more than jealousy. It has to be. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. You're right. I just want to know exactly what happened, praying that Nolan's story is told in its entirety. I agree. I definitely agree. Hey, Protector 91. The world is a beautiful place, but people are evil, right? Tracy said, so true. I expect the hate on my job. Team lead don't even know me, and she private messaged me on Teams about how he don't like me. I was at, oh, wow. See, it can happen. I think it gave Nolan definite naive, naivety. Is that how you say it? Naivety. Having boundaries is much deeper than what we think it is. Part of survival. That's true. They've been jealous. He was from a two-parent household. Yeah. I think they had an accident. The parents pushed the cover up rather than being honest and reinforce the negativity of the New South. That's a good point too. What if it was an accident that turned into an eventual death, and then they got scared, and then you got the parents don't want them in trouble? Possibly could have helped covered it up too. Some people are blind to it and only see the light and not the darkness that surrounds the light. That's true. Uh-huh. Warren just around here claiming everybody his cousin. Not everybody's cousin. It's the others who are demonic. He was a light. He couldn't be anything else. Blessed are the meek. And that's true. Some people don't like your light, child. Okay. They don't like your light to shine. It irritates the demons inside. How can you feel so upset and mad if people are happy, if people are laughing, if people are bright light? Now, I will say this, and I share this story about her. I've even shared it with her. There was a one of my friends that she had just came to the same school as myself and some others, and so I noticed when she would walk down the hallway, she was always smiling, excited, like "Hey, sunshine." And so I thought to myself, now, I'm a naturally happy, smiley person too. I say, now ain't nobody that happy. I said, girl, when I first met you, I said, child, ain't nobody that happy. That girl is faking. Hey, Brittany. And so we had that conversation, but as time went on, see, this is why you got to get to know people. As time went on, y'all, now I've known her for over, what, 12 years or so. Um, that's her real personality. Okay, that's who she really is. Some people never got a chance to really get to know her though, and they hated her for that. She got enemies because of her light, because it made them feel a certain type of way. And so I share that with her because I said, I want you to know what I was thinking. And some of them probably are thinking like this, but I got a chance to get to know you and saw that this is really who you are. This is your calling. She can the boys who have all the bad behavior. Guess who they want to hang with? Her. Guess who can get them in line? Her. Me. I got frustrated. I was like, go down there. I used to sit in my classroom to her. Okay, they gravitated towards her. She loved on them in a different way. That was her special calling and anointing. And so Nolan, they probably saw this greatness on him, that he wasn't just good in sports, but he had a light, a smile. We could see through his videos, his pictures. They hated that. Okay, why can't I have that? Why can't the girls want to come flock around me, find me funny? Okay, because they don't find you funny. Okay, because you're not funny. That's not your calling. Be you. Okay, you know, you cannot be anybody else but you. And so with them embracing it, now I can see for some reason with the whole Jack situation, I don't know, I get a different vibe from him than with Warren. Okay, I feel like Jax probably did have more of a carefree personality when it came to Nolan. That's just my opinion. You know, I could be wrong, but out of the ones who were up there, Morgan, I'm setting him to the side, y'all. He ain't have no bun with Nolan probably. Remember that guy who unalived his family because he said they were too happy? What? I never knew about that. Warren lost a lot of weight between his two interviews. He did. He definitely did. Okay. Hey, Bunny, welcome. Right, exactly. Now, something else that I was shocked about, y'all, People magazine started talking about this Nolan Wells case again. I wanted to share an article with y'all. And the title of it was Data Indicates New Twist in Nolan Wells Case. No one has drowned in years at the island where he vanished. Uh-oh. So they calling Cap too. I said, wait, they done got People magazine back involved in this. Okay, and talking about it. So they said, need to know, Nolan Wells was found dead and still wearing his swim trunks in July on Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi, 2 days after attending a large 4th of July party there. But despite the currents in deep water around Horn Island and its history as a popular gathering spot, data obtained by People, okay, indicates that recent drownings there are rare. Remember, Warren was talking about, oh, it's been lots of deaths there. Well, People, baby, they calling Cap on you. Baby, People say, let's look into this. Okay. More than a month later, much remains unclear about Wells' final hours alive. Now, Nolan Wells' mysterious death is potentially even more unusual. If he drowned on Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi, that would mark the first such death there in years, government data shows. The drowning dangers around the barrier island, where the water can deepen rapidly and churn with rip currents like a washing machine, have attracted significant attention since Wells's body was found there on July 6th, still wearing his swim trunks. Now, 2 days earlier, the 18-year-old attended a large raucous, baby, they calling it, they didn't want to say ghetto. Okay, with all of the fights that was going on, y'all got People magazine saying y'all raucous. So, wait a minute. They didn't want to call it ghetto like we do. Okay. Raucous 4th of July party with friends who say they left him behind with a girl, an account his family has challenged as being out of character for him. Authorities initially said they suspected that Wells drowned and did not see signs of foul play, a position they have since seemingly softened. Amid their ongoing work and sharp criticism from the teen's parents. Nolan Wells' family deserves a thorough and factual investigation, and that's exactly what they're going to get. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter said, child, despite the currents and deep water around Horn Island and its history as a popular gathering spot, according to locals, data obtained by People indicates that recent drownings there are rare. The Jackson County coroner said there were no recorded drowning deaths at Horn Island in the last 6 years. An official tells People in response to an open records request. People did their own open records request. That doesn't mean drownings don't happen in the area. There was a drowning death investigation at nearby Petite Boy Island. Who went to Petite Boy Island? Let's see who gonna get that answer right. Let me see who gets that answer right in the chat. Who do y'all remember? Here, this one I'm gonna quiz the detectives in the building. Phenomenal Scorpio probably got it in her notes. Who is it, y'all, that we said, or she said, I should say, that she was not on Horn Island, but she was on Petite Boy Island? Who was that? Y'all remember? In the same time period, the official says, and a teenage girl was taken in critical condition to the hospital from Dauphin Island, not far from Horn Island, in 2022 after being stuck in the water. Okay, Clarinetta getting close. What's her name? Wells' parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, and their attorney Ben Crump, have questioned what really happened to him on July 4th before he apparently vanished in plain sight and later turned up dead. Let's see. I don't see the right answer yet. More than a month later, much remains unclear about Wells' final hours alive. Okay, so y'all, people is chiming in on this. Oh, Nurse M, ding, 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 ding. Okay, Nurse M on it. She got the correct answer. Lacey NaQuinn. Okay, she said that because she said they were lying. Now, allegedly, she said she hadn't seen Nolan in a year. Okay, and she was like, she wasn't at Horn Island on 4th of July weekend, but she was over at Petite Boy Island. Okay, child, it was not that far. So I'm almost calling cap on her, because who throwing your name out there just out of nowhere? Okay. Girl, somebody saw you write a Mama magazine. Hey, the Queen's there. She got it too. Come on, detectives. Y'all don't have that hat for nothing. Okay. Now, some of y'all, come on now, with these hats. Now, I need y'all to be taking some better notes. News Cruise said, I need multiple choice. You need a poll, huh? Okay, let's see here. The girl the police claim they investigated and said she hasn't seen Nolan. Yes, that's the one. Her name was Lacey, NaQuinn. All right, Greg, hey, you kind of in there. Okay, y'all kind of knew. Y'all couldn't, some of y'all didn't know that name. Nurse M say don't play on her top. She know the details. Okay. Oh my God. So then, y'all, I was watching this other video from TikTok. Karen Michelle, girl, you need to write some notes. Y'all remember in the MDMR report, okay, there were some witnesses, right? Alleged witnesses. Now, the MDMR people, this is when they were doing their investigation. There was a girl by the name of Lacey NaQuinn that was on there. They went and spoke with her. Of course, she said, I already spoke to see, they all have this same, I don't know if they gave them a little card with what they should say if somebody asked them something. I already spoke with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. That's their go-to line. So that means that, look, I done told them what I need them. They told me to shut up. Okay. Well, she said she had already spoken with the Jackson County, but she said she had not seen Nolan in a year. And she was not at Horn Island on July 4th. She was at Petite Boy Island. Okay. Now that's right, y'all. It's only a mile and some away. It's still on the barrier, the Mississippi Sound, in that line of islands. Okay. I was thinking it was over near Jamaica somewhere, child. You only a mile and some away. So I still question, were you really there? What time did you go over, Lacey, to Petite Boy Island? At any point during that day, girl, don't have us call you back out to the front of the line. At any point during that day, did you ever come over to Horn Island? And then she said she was with a separate group of friends. Like, what? Was it Lainey or Lacey? Lainey NaQuinn? Child, let's get her name right. Let me look at my notes. I knew it started with an L, child. Hold on. Let me make sure. It could have been Lainey. Because we looked into that. But remember? Yeah, Lainey. Thank you. All right, you ding, ding, ding. HGY came in with the correct spelling, child. We're going to have the wrong person coming to the front of the class. It was Lainey NaQuinn. Yeah, she probably at home looking at this like, oh, child, I'm glad they got it wrong. It ain't me then. Nah, it's you, Lainey NaQuinn. Okay, so make sure you put the right name. Y'all put the right name in there, child. We had one letter. See how you can have one letter wrong. Laney Quinn, but the other details are what's in the report. Okay. Ship Island is the next island. Boys Island. I missed this one discussion. Yeah. Petite Boys Island is like right, almost right next to. I'm gonna have to pull it up again and see y'all taking me back in my notes and all of that. But we went through this, y'all, before y'all to forget. We got to do a, let me put that on my notes for we gotta do a review and come back to that. Okay, with Laney. We'll come back to that because I want to show y'all because I showed y'all. Remember, I showed y'all the whole map of Horn Island, and I said, "Here's Horn Island." Who was here for that live? I said, "Who you think Bart, the Simpson man, gave her name?" He might have. He gave a list of potential witnesses. Okay, it might have been. I don't know. I don't know. It's one that she's in the friend groups now, because she's connected to Katie. Mm-hmm. Okay, show a picture of your boat and crew. Right. We want to know who she went with. Yeah, y'all. So Lainey and the Queen, yeah, she said she was on Petite Boy Island. So I'm gonna do a review of that because some of y'all don't remember who was in that live because I showed it on the screen and everything. Yeah, it's very small. Uh-huh. It's east of Horn Island. Yeah, it's not that far. When I heard her say in that report, like I listened to it, when I saw in the report, she had told them that her she was on a different island and she gave because I'm not familiar with Horn Island, the Mississippi Sound, all those islands there. I've only heard of Horn Island, right? So when I read that in the report that she was at Petite, okay, thank you, Mama 80s. Woo, Lord, somebody was there. I'm like, well, did I dream that? And so I was like, hold up. This girl said Petite Boy Island because I typed it in into Chat GPT. It said it's one of the islands on the Mississippi Sound. I'm thinking it's over across the ocean somewhere, child, over by Jamaica, the Bahamas, somewhere. We don't know nothing about this Mississippi Sound Horn Island place, child. Okay, but when we looked it up, it showed all of the islands like Ship Island, all these little islands that are right next to each other. Okay, so that was that day. HGY said, I knew I had it right. Come on, HGY. She said, don't play with her. She got it right the first time. Okay. My apologies. Okay. How it works there, Horn Island is where the UDMK hang out at the homies party at Ship Island. Uh-oh. So let me find out that the parties was going down over in Ship Island, and then they done, y'all not about to play on my top this morning. Okay. Yeah, she said, I knew I wasn't tripping. Their government offices are all in the families for centuries. Uh-huh. God got to handle this one. Yeah, because it's a lot of connections. I remember you showing it, and it's very small. Okay, Smiley was there too. Gotcha. Okay, the only name sticking out right now is Boat Buddy Rowe. Now, this guy, I was looking at this TikTok, y'all, and this man, he said, I don't know why they're not talking about the NOAA. I say the NOAA. What is the NOAA? Child, they said that the NOAA is a report that I'm going to pull this up for y'all. Is a report that the family in Ben Crump's office needs to look into getting. Okay. All right. Now, let me make sure I have it big enough on the screen. Brittany said you should do a trivia game with the Nolan case and Carmela's case. Ooh, hey, that was one trivia right there, child. That almost took us out, Brittany. Okay. Okay, so they said that the attorney Ben Crump's office, they need to look into the NOAA. Okay, now I had never heard of this. See, I'm learning more about this boat stuff, water stuff, more and more every day. Okay, now the NOAA stands for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It is a federal scientific agency within the U.S. Department of Commerce. Now, the NOAA is especially relevant to what we've been discussing, when it comes to oceans, coastal areas, navigation, marine resources, weather, and fisheries. Now, these are some things that the NOAA do, okay? They have major functions. Now, this is key right here. This will be big. If they could get this data and information. Now, oceans and coasts. So they monitor ocean conditions, coastal areas, tides, currents, and marine environments. Okay. They also monitor weather and hurricanes. Okay. Like the National Weather Service, the National Hurricane Center are part of the NOAA. I never knew that. Okay. This is a whole class this morning. I never knew that. Fisheries. The NOAA Fisheries manages federally regulated. Remember, Horn Island, the majority of it is federally owned. Okay. We have like 4 parcels there that's privately owned. Federally regulated fisheries and protects marine species and habitats. Navigation and mapping. The NOAA produces nautical charts and other information important to vessels operating in U.S. waters. Also, satellites. The NOAA operates environmental satellites that monitor weather, oceans, atmosphere, and other environmental conditions. Climate. They collect and analyze climate and environmental data. Now, this is potentially important. Now, the NOAA is not the same agency as the Coast Guard, Mississippi DMR, or National Park Service, but its data can be extremely useful in a maritime investigation. So, for example, the NOAA maintains information about tides, the currents there, the wind, the waves, water temperature, weather, nautical charts. So those records could potentially answer these types of questions. Where could a person or object have drifted after entering the water? See? Okay, what were the currents like around Horn Island during July 4th? What were the tide conditions? What were the wind and wave conditions? Could those conditions explain where Nolan was ultimately recovered? And then what areas would search teams reasonably have searched first? These are like questions that they could get answers from with this report, y'all. NOAA's mission specifically includes understanding and predicting changes in the ocean and coast and providing that information to others. So, look, this could be huge because this could also tell if they're lying about Nolan's body being out there and then his body drifted. Okay, that's going to be key. Now, this could debunk some of the speculation and so forth if you get this type of report. Oh, you have a cousin who works with them? Okay. So my questions will always be, as a lawyer, if that picture is real, who put red beads on Nolan's neck? That's the setup, in my opinion. Now, why do you think the beads matter so much? This is like a poem. They may get a bad captain case before a local herder conviction. Ben Crump did say that was being investigated, but he didn't say where the data was coming from. Oh, he did? Okay, good. Hopefully they're getting this info. Hey, Grandma Five, welcome. Ben Crump said in one of his interviews that they were getting experts to check all of this type of information out. Bam. This is good information. See, I didn't know about this. Shout out to Shauna. Thank you so much for the jewels and for being a sponsor for today's live. It's really about the fact the boat was sailing when Nolan most likely met his fate, and that was the captain's responsibility. This is going federal. NOAA investigation goes right to federal investigators, so maybe they're working together. Hey, Lakeisha, welcome. Someone did a TikTok using that data with a simulation. Oh, so where did they get the data from? That's what I want to know. Hey, D, good morning, sis. Welcome. Okay. Like that is key, y'all. So I wanted to share that because I didn't know anything about that until that person brought that up, and I said, "Wow, let me look into that," because you just never know. Okay, so if Ben Crump and his team are on it and getting that info, that's going to be key. They're gonna prove the boys a lie, just like all the evidence they don't want to investigate. Exactly, exactly. Okay. Okay, so the UDMK have bead colors that distinguish membership to that Mississippi club that's been around since the 1800s. Oh, wow. I need to look more into that. Okay. I'm gonna look more. I'm taking notes on different things y'all need to really tap into and check it out. Thank you so much for sharing that because I was curious about that. I've always wanted to know if there was any meaning to the color of those beads. Yeah, I'm glad that SoCal was telling us about that. Okay, now y'all, let's get into. We're gonna go over on our field trip, morning field trip to. Um, let's go here first to Willie D Live, y'all, and with this letter, this alleged letter.
At
Okay,
the top, it says left.
Willie. Okay, so many of you have probably, because I hadn't discussed this yet. Okay, so today we're gonna get into this alleged letter, child. We got more letters. We got a whole pool story out there. Now we have a longer letter on. It looks like a journal. Uh, somebody got one of those little composition journals, and they were taking notes. Now some people are saying that this looks like it could allegedly be females writing. Okay, so I don't know. To me, it looks more like a female's writing too. Some of it is hard to read, but for the majority, I was able to read it. Um, there are some things that stand out with this letter that we've kind of already thought through, and it almost provided some confirmation, but all of this is alleged. Okay, we don't know it to be fact. So we're gonna say allegedly. Hey, Dreamy girl, how are you? Welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. We have missed you. OB, that letter, yes, a woman, but I do believe some of it. Okay, that's what I'm wondering too, because I was reading and I said, huh, you think it's Eric? He want to let it out so bad. All right, so let's get into it. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know we are live.
Evans at left Evans' house at 10:30 a.m. on boat to Island. That's July 4th. This letter is dated. Okay, so we say we got to the party island. We had alcohol. I may have drank a half, if not a whole seltzer throughout that entire time. Was worried about returning for his second swim. Um, he didn't want to ruin his chances. Talking about Nolan. Cell service sucks here, Nolan. Imagine something happening to you and not being able to call out for help. This is why.
Okay, so this person is saying that they allegedly went to Horn Island with, I guess, the group, and there was some alleged drinking there, right? And they admitted that they were drinking too. But referring to Nolan, was worried about returning, I think, for his like second semester. Okay. He didn't want to ruin his chances. Now, that's something that I've been thinking about as well. And we kind of talked about it. Hey, Paul, that Nolan knew that Monday was coming. Okay. That this was a big issue, a big like season for him. Not a bad issue, but you know what I'm saying? A big thing. His dad has even talked about that they have been training over the summer. So he knew this was like time to have fun, but he wouldn't have wanted to overindulge. Okay, especially with some rubs. Okay, knowing that you about to have a big season. Um, thanks for making my morning drive pleasant and informative in the midst of this California traffic. Okay, Nurse M, you're welcome. Shout out to California in the building. Yes, it was a deep statement, right? I think it was more so 4th of July colors. Yes, I thought about that too, HGY with the bead colors, but where were the blue beads? Okay, did anybody see anyone out there with any blue? Are we just gonna forget the color blue in the flag? I guess I don't know. I'm sick of them trying to bring Nolan down. Right. Are therapists required by law to report crimes if their clients admit to being involved? Oh, that's a good question. Anybody know that? Any therapists in the building? I don't want to answer it because I'm not an expert in that. Um, but that's a great question. If they admitted to a therapist, do they have to report that that person was involved in a crime? I'm going to say it and not hide my feelings. Simpson Man and Wyatt had something to do with Nolan's death. That's what you're saying, Paul? Okay, Paul standing on it. Oh, Mama Magazine, she said, yeah, they're a mandatory reporter. Wow. Okay. Um, Now this was odd here. This little conversation, this alleged conversation between Nolan and Wyatt. Now, y'all, this kind of goes with the whole phone situation. Though, if you think about it, if Wyatt allegedly took Nolan's phone, it said that Nolan was kind of saying cell service sucks here, but then Wyatt allegedly said something to the effect, "Imagine if something happened and you won't be able to call out for help." Now, not only with that is that disturbing, but to me that gives some premeditation right there, okay? Or it would give a reason why they got into it over that phone too, if any of this is true, okay? Because his name is starting to come up more and more, okay? Then it said Nolan side-eyed and dismissed the comment. So was this person sitting there or standing there by the two of them, when this conversation was allegedly happening? I don't know. But if Nolan side-eyed, and if y'all think about that picture when Nolan was in the water, remember he had those glasses on, but at the same time, it puts me in the mind of the pool party too. Okay, so we have two times Nolan is in water, but he's side-eyeing people. You got the picture when they're there on Horn Island. He's in the water with his shades on. The guy's leaning over in the blue shorts in the boat. Okay, remember the Officer Tater Tot when he was showing the video. Here's Nolan. Here's Nolan. Okay, well, Nolan was peeping some in that picture. Then in the pool party picture that they're saying was on June 27th, Warren said he had his arm around Nolan. Notice Nolan was also looking back at them too with this little look. What could Nolan have been picking up on, y'all? Like, think about that. That's two times. And now, if we're hearing that this was a possible time where he's giving Wyatt this side eye after that comment, because you know what? Somebody said that to me. I'm a side eye them too, because why your mind there of something possibly happening? Okay, why would you go there? Like, that's kind of odd. So I would have side-eyed him as well. If it's true, it has to be someone who was there with them all day. He probably has. I think they're saying that he cooperated with the police. They let them get the GPS tracker information and all of that, child. I don't know. Patient doctor privileges, a subpoena would be required. Oh, so Tracy's saying you have to have a subpoena for that. I think the boys were raised in elitism, racism, and some were prejudiced and some were not. Just because you think you are better doesn't mean it's race specific. You're right. Freedom of speech, the Simpson Man and Wyatt and even Katie had something to do with Nolan's death, and all seven who were on board. Erder is Erder. Obi did the pig? No, not yet. He had on blue shorts? Yes. The one that was on that boat and Nolan was in the water. Yes. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. So some of this, y'all, I'm like, wait a second. Okay.
Saying this allegedly. Nolan side eyes and dismisses the comment. Nolan snaps a photo or video of something. Wyatt had been sniffing the cocaine all morning. Wyatt tries to grab the phone or tells him to put it down, and Nolan jerks the phone. Uh, this feels what would lead to Nolan's death later.
Okay. So it's to me, it's reading Nolan snaps a photo or video of the scenery. Okay. Picture this of the scenery. Now at this time, we gotta give him another name, child, because I don't need no issues with any potential lawyers coming out. Cause y'all see his name coming out more and more, child. Let's see. We, we for now we just gonna say W. Okay. Then it says W had been sniffing that Coca Cola all morning. Uh-oh. Um. W tries to grab the phone. Now I'm thinking that if this is true, that Nolan had the phone, and you having fun, you kind of going around recording, just like the guy that I showed y'all yesterday. He was showing the whole scene. Okay, he had that old man in the in the video, the black shorts and everything. So Nolan probably was like, man, it's pretty out here. Probably recording, the boats and taking pictures of people nearby and all of that. And in the midst of him doing that, he could have allegedly captured W with a little Coca-Cola. So then W is like, hey man, what you doing? Cause see, W, he got a future at stake too. Okay, he trying to be a big time sportsman too and make some good money. He got people that are high up as well. Grandfather owning businesses and all of that. Okay, and you got these. I don't know how many pictures you took. How many what all did you capture in that phone, Nolan? So then allegedly, according to this, W jerks the phone. Okay, he takes it away from him. And then this person says this fuels why it led eventually to Nolan's death later. Mm.
Let's see, approximately 12 hours later, Nolan was already having an inkling that he shouldn't go to the pool party later. Him and Wyatt had animosity for a while, more so Wyatt, because Nolan was, I don't know what that word is, but the next word says back. He forgave easy and didn't hold grudges. He was the peaceful friend, the conflict solver in most of his social group. He had several, maybe three, and the rest of that part is kind of watered out there. Let's go to the second.
Okay. Let me move this out the way. Shout out to Sugar Mama Maine for becoming a member. You were already family, but now you are a member. Thank you so much. If you all want to be a sponsor for today, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat. My Cash App is scrolling, and it is a new one. So those of you who have me locked in from before, don't forget. And or buy a coffee. Those links are in the chat. But if you do not look, just hit that like button. It is for free. All right, so let me tap into what this part says. Because some of it I could read more so. Now then, it says 12 hours later, okay, Nolan was already having this little inkling that he shouldn't go to that pool party. Now, allegedly, they were all supposed to go to this pool party at Ava's, okay? And I guess from the bad feeling that he had, um, he didn't want to go. Okay, like something was going on. And I think he could have felt it based off of this. Now, this is questionable too. This person said approximately 12 hours later. Well, what time was the pool party? Because if we're gonna go on the earlier end of your time up here, that was 11:30 a.m. 12 hours later would be 11 o'clock p.m. So I'm not understanding the 12 hours later. Y'all tell me if you think if I'm off with that. Cause I'm like, huh? I don't know about the 12 hours later. That would be way late. They would have been left. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just weird. on that part. There's more to the letter, more pages. Yes, it is. Um, so that part kind of, I was stuck there. But it says him and W have had animosity for a while now, and it says more so W, because Nolan was laid back. That's what that says. Nolan was more laid back. Remember, we talked about Nolan's personality, and sometimes people will use that as a weakness. If you're too nice, they may think they can get over on you, but meekness is not the same as weakness. Okay, so don't get it twisted with some of these nice people out here, because child, they'll snap back in an instant if you push them. Okay, but what else was there to, if W had this animosity against him? What else could there have been? Because we're hearing of this whole phone situation, and then you could hear in the video him in the background telling him to give him his effing phone back. So you know he's the one that we hear on the call. Okay. Remember his brother's boats, grandfather's boats. Grandfather could allegedly been out there. Okay. You got people for you out there. Okay. So Nolan would have been outnumbered, allegedly. Okay. So then Nolan, and we it was so ironic. We talked about this morning. It says he forgave easy and didn't hold grudges. He was the peaceful friend, okay? The conflict solver in their group, most of his social groups. And he had severed, I think that says several. He had several, okay? Maybe three. He had several social groups, maybe three. And then it said another friend group, but then after that some of it is blurred out. So he had possibly three, and he probably had the one with Javon and those boys, and then Warren, and then those groups. So sometimes those groups did not kind of commingle, and then sometimes maybe they did. Okay, probably too, because Warren called at 11 after the supposed combo with the parent. Oh, okay. I still wonder if the judge was hitting on Nolan and the boys, confused if it was. I don't know, y'all, about that part. I try not to even talk about that part because I don't know. That's kind of a little too deep for me. I don't want to go that route, but I hear people have that out there about that. I don't know, child. Shout out to HGY. Thank you for the jewels and for being a sponsor. I've seen more pages to the letter on the Fugitives YouTube channel. Okay, we haven't finished though. Yes, thank y'all so much. Yeah, don't ignore your instincts, right? The W that hasn't said a word was allegedly doing the Colombian Yayo all morning. He's the one that had issues with Nolan. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, child, look.
Page
Coca-Cola.
right here, and it continues. Nolan was only put on the boat to be transferred back to the island around 3 to 5 a.m. on July 6th. That's why he wasn't found initially on the island. He was stored somewhere cool and dark as to keep de- decompositioning at a minimum. But it's summer. He already started to have a hint of smell permeating the shaded area. It's an area of property him and his friends hiked or hung around. And yes, it's one of his friends' property. Somebody got to form a hiking trail, maybe both.
Now, and I think it is more pages too, because I see now he went straight to this page. Okay. Now he was only put on a boat. Let me make sure I'm not muted because sometimes I come to the other side. Okay. Um, Nolan was only put on the boat to be transferred back to the island. They're saying around 3 to 5 a.m. Now, there is another page. I may have to go to Secret Service Sam because he read off, because it's like he's missing a little part before this. I don't know. Did that come out after he did this video? That's weird. Okay. To be transferred back to the island around 3 to 5 a.m. on July the 6th. Y'all, that's the day that they found his body, was that morning. Okay, thank you, inspiration. I'm gonna go and try to find that part. That's why he wasn't found initially on the island. He was stored somewhere cool and dark. And that could be, if this is all allegedly true, why his body decomposed faster. Okay. Um, store somewhere cool, dark, as to keep decomposition. Okay, and they put that right there. Okay. Decompositioning at a minute, but it's summer, and he already started to have a hint of smell permeating the shedded area. It's an area of property him and his friends hike. So that would be a key detail to figure out if this is true. Okay. Were there other places that this particular group frequented? Okay. Was it at Fort Bio? Okay. Where did they go hike? Has he ever mentioned that? This could be a way of trying to see if any of this is true. Has he mentioned that to his other boys or his family about him going on hikes with these friends before? Okay. Um, it's an area of property him and his friends hiked or hung around. And yes, it's one of his friends' property. Somebody got a farm or a hiking trail. Uh-oh. Then they have somebody cry, Wyatt or Warren. Somebody is scared to speak. They put Eric is scared to speak. Somebody was, what is that, y'all? Someone was everywhere, each other. I don't know what is that third word line is. All of them one big hunted. All of them are being hunted. I can believe that. Nolan decided to unfriend this group and they couldn't accept it, the ultimate motive. Now let me see if I can find that other page, y'all. Give me 1 second. Yes, that's something to think about. Okay. Who owns land? I can't remember her name. One of those spiritual readers did say Coca-Cola was part of the mess. Ooh, how did Nolan, 30 people involve a cleanup crew? Oops. Where Bio pull it up is very, yes, it is. It's very wooded. Uh-huh. To get to the home, it's a long walk from the boat dock. Yes, it is. It has a lot of water out there. And then you have to walk through the bushes. Yeah, Mr. Wasted is the definition of a privileged YT boy who never was told no, nor ever corrected for his wrongdoing. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, because I thought I read. I think it might have been when Secret Service Sam was reading it, because I heard a different part too. And then when I was just looking at this video, I'm like, hold on, he done left out a page. Give me 1 second, y'all. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Okay, let's see here. Because that would have been, okay, let's see, is this the one? Oh, okay. Here's the line right here. Thank y'all for your patience.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is one of the pages that Willie didn't get, I guess.
Update, and I have acquired these 6 total letters. I read the first and the last one. Here are the remaining 4. They went off to the side with Nolan as if they had to huddle and talk, but ultimately it was to beat him up, maybe even kill him if he fought back. They wanted him to take a break because his life has been too easy. He needs to feel pain, teach him a lesson. Nolan was brave.
Did y'all hear that? Doesn't that kind of all go together? If you think a person is always happy, he comes from a two-parent household and can afford the same things they can, very good in sports. that could be a person's thought process too. Like, you have life too easy. We want to see you cry. You always happy, always smiling. Well, what will make you cry? And check this out too, y'all. Think about this. And now this gets deep right here. This little part, if this was true. Did they not do that to his mom? Come on now. Think about that. Since Nolan's death, what has been one of the top things they stated about Christine in the beginning? Why is she always smiling? Why is she always happy? They did it to her. So that would not surprise me. People wanted to see her bawling so bad, crying and screaming and cussing. They wanted to see that so bad. They still do. Okay, some people. And so that, to me, this would not surprise me. Okay, it really would. If that was the case, if this any of this letter is true, unless they carried his body from boat to the dark shed, possibly. If that's true, Greg, I could see that. Uh-huh. They checked the boat at W's when the boat they should have checked was at the judge's house. Come on now. Because why was there a boat over there again and people cleaning it allegedly? There were at least 4 boats, maybe more. Sounds like a couple of the boys had more than one boat. Yes, and I believe so too. Even if not all the letter is true, there are points that need to be addressed for sure. That's what I'm saying. Some of this you could do an investigation and look into that. Okay, this makes me think about the post and delete stating that he was hit in the back of the head by someone with an object, and that object was left in a wooded area allegedly. You know what, HGY? I forgot about that post. You are right. That could go with this because if it's a wooded area where they're hiking, I had totally forgot about that. They said that he had there was a backpack and some type of pole, and that's evidence, and it was left in a wooded area. You are correct. I remember that. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Yeah, uh-huh. Somebody was threatened. The cops were called to Judge AC House that night to teach him a lesson. Like, please stop.
He did try to fight, but they may have spiked his juice because he wasn't drinking. They needed him incapacitated because even 2 to 3 of them would have had a hard time overpowering him. They've been sizing him up for a while. He was strong.
Okay, come on now, because you see in the pictures, uh, y'all call him Skeletor. He is small, way smaller than Nolan. Okay, a lot of them are shorter than him, and they probably said one on one they can't take him. Okay, so if there was something in his system or drink, they could have possibly put it there. Not that he would have willingly, knowing that he was going to his new season Monday for the training camp and all of that, what they were doing with sports. Okay, not willingly, but did it cause him to be a little drowsy? Which takes me back to the boat. Okay, well, whatever happened on that boat, I've been saying this, y'all. I don't think he was fully deceased yet, but did it knock him out to the point of kind of, hey, come chill, lay down? He fell or something like that. And they're wondering, is he gone? Is he dead? They're trying to figure that out. But is it possible that once we got to land, he's coming around out of this and kind of, but still a little weak and wobbly out of it, and then they overpower him? Those two things could be true at the same time. I don't know. It's just a thought process as we go through this, okay, and reading this letter and so forth. The conscience is eating them up. Yes. Okay, so Greg, that could explain because Greg had sent the pic of them on that boat. Okay. Now, this was one of Evan's pictures, and it looked to be Nolan in this white shirt. They're like standing, steering this boat. Now, I don't know whose boat that would be, Greg. I'm stuck on that part. But the sunset is, and he looks like he has on the same swim trunks, a white shirt over, over him, and then it's 4 of them standing there. So that could kind of be maybe they're going back, but I'm confused as to which boat that would be. You see what I'm saying? But I do know, I see where you're going with that. This ain't the first time I heard about a shed. Exactly. Mine either. I've heard about a shed before too. Nancy Grace is warning the earner that they are on to them. Oh, uh-oh. When did she do that? Yeah, book bag. Uh-huh. They deleted information off the phone. Crump knows that. Yeah, they try to humble you. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Mom was drunkenly unaware at one point. Then she realized and had a sober moment that those boys actually did something to Nolan that she knew they were planning for a few weeks.
Okay. Now, y'all, let's think about this. Okay. Remember the pool party. That whole little narrative right there. Now, in this one, okay, let me see, where was it? Let me look at this again. The mom was drunkenly aware at one point. Did they not say? Now, this could have been at the house, okay? Because it made me think about that too, with Evan's mom allegedly drunk and heard Nolan holler. Do y'all remember that? Heard Nolan hollering. That's when she came out and she was drunk. Exactly, a Mama magazine. Why we keep hearing about a drunk mama? And said she wanted all of them to get out of there. Okay. Now was y'all, come on now. That's a huge coincidence. And that's when they started putting people out, but they didn't let Nolan leave. Remember that part in that pool party? Um, the pool party scenario that, alleged uh pool party thing. Well, they brought up Evan's drunk mama in that one. Now we're hearing about a drunk mama again. Okay. Whose mama was drunk allegedly? That is so weird. And she had a sober moment that those boys actually did something to Nolan that she knew they were planning for weeks. Now, y'all know what this made me think of, right? We just talked about this. Was it yesterday or the day before? Remember, they said that they had went to Horn Island 2 weeks before his death. 2 weeks, because I was like, well, why y'all at Horn Island so much? Okay, but she was a great prosecutor. I'll give her that. Okay. Um, so now y'all at Horn Island 2 weeks prior. Then you have the whole birthday party, joint birthday party where the mayor was at the birthday party too. Nerdy Pink Panda exposed that. Then they're saying allegedly the pool party from Evans post with them in the pool was allegedly the week before. Allegedly the week before. But then Nolan ends up dead the week after that. So planning for weeks would definitely make sense. Okay. And I'm still questioning if that pool party picture was from the week before. I'm still waiting on someone to answer if the Simpson man was at that FCA camp on the 27th or not. Was he there or not? Was he a volunteer? Was he on the roster to help? What? He can't be there and at Horn Island or at Pass Christian, I should say, for that party at the same time. Nobody has given an answer to that, of course. Okay, that would help debunk whether they lying about that party or not, or if that was on the 4th. I believe all the mamas were okay. Right, Shawana. Okay, and she made them get off the property. Exactly. Nolan was hollering mom. That might be how he addressed the drunk mama. Kim said Evan does not have a pool and lives not on the water. Warren Hudson. I'm not the judge. That's why I went to her house to look for Nolan. Okay. And Warren said they went to a pool party after the Horn Island trip. He said he was talking to his girlfriend dad. Yes, that's the one that was supposed to have been at Ava's house. Remember? Don't hang around people who are jealous of you. I don't care if it's your family either. A jealous spirit is nothing to play with. You right about that, HGY. Yeah, Sugar Mama Main, that's what I'm wondering. If y'all are saying y'all been to Horn Island 2 weeks before, okay, then y'all are saying there was this pool party on the 27th. Now, even if it was on the 27th, looking at that pool party picture, Nolan looks uncomfortable. He looks like he's scoping something out on that picture. Okay? So even that in itself does not look right. And he died the weekend after. Uh-huh. Exactly, Money Bandit. Okay. We're not crazy.
Dumb drunk idea of Wyatt's after his last disagreement with Nolan. That's why Nolan couldn't leave, because he couldn't. They thought that they could fix him up, but they got scared and hit him on the head instead of scaring him. Please, no, guys. Laughing. I can't hear that. Again, I don't know if these letters are real. I am just reading them to you. He wanted this holiday to be epic.
Okay. Now, that's where you get into the possible went too far. Okay? Because now this is bad. So, was this the point that it was bad to the point of almost death? Now we got to really just go through with it now. You see what I'm saying? Because the beating part, if that allegedly happened like that, okay, think about it. That was what was said also in that pool party scenario, that they were jumping him, fighting him, and recording it at the same time. And he was yelling, okay? He was yelling as well for his mom and said that he was spitting up blood. Had it gone too far, and then in an instant, he was taken out of there so fast, allegedly. The final blow that actually took him out. Nolan had enemies. He wasn't loved by them. He was tolerated. Yes, okay. When you think about a thing, right? Freedom of speech. The Simpson man and W on a live Nolan. Don't be frightened to say Simpson did. Paul say they need to call it. Okay. Well, I mean, as far as the house part, I'm just saying Evan shared the picture. In the pool scenario, it said Evan's house, but when Kimbra Lee was doing some research, it looked like it was at a Mossy house. I'm saying allegedly, so but the other one they said they were going to was at Ava's house, okay, on the 4th. Yeah. And remember, that's when they were circling because Nerdy Pink Panda, she did the whole GPS thing. They were circling through there like they were dropping people off. They went by the Biloxi Bridge, the Ocean Springs Yacht Club, before they headed on over to her house. Yes. Right. It went way too far. Uh-huh. So, Cal, are you joking? At someone's pool. So if that's true, they got us looking at the wrong place. Hey, I'm telling you, they trying to do it with that pool, the pool picture. They are trying to mix us up as far as the date for one, okay, and the place of it as well in the scenario, possibly. Like I said, I'm not off of the date yet because I need to know if the Simpson man was at camp that day for that weekend. He can't be at two places. We know he's in the picture. We know he was there on the 4th. But, sir, I don't think you were there 2 weekends in a row. Okay. We need you to confirm if you were at that camp at your college on the 27th. If we find out he was not there, y'all, that picture is not from the 27th. Okay. That means they're lying. That means they're lying. I don't believe the letter because he was dead on the boat. How would he be alive at the house? Who said he was dead on the boat though, sis? That's the thing. Do we know that to be fact that he was indeed dead, or were they checking to see if he was already dead? You see what I'm saying? Like, have we really confirmed that part? Because she knows everything. Okay, Greg said but Greg, what proof do you have though? Y'all know we got to be able to prove that. Let's see. There were witnesses to his death by family who saw it and have it on video. It was mentioned early in the investigation. Yeah, they saw a fight, but did they say he was dead? You see what I'm saying? Ava House on the hill through the wooded areas. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Did she, Greg? Okay, I'm gonna check that out after, because if she proved that, y'all, that pool party picture, that means that was now on the 27th.
Sadly, it was not. He had at least 20 videos and photos that are not on his phone but can be recovered. From the island, some photos would have been deleted later because they were blurred or made him look weird. LOL. He didn't get to delete photos. They got his code from his phone while at the party beating him, or it was unlocked because he was recording as well.
Okay, thank you, Mama Magazine. Okay, I wanted to pause. Now, one thing that I was saying, I'm glad I saw your thing, because I was about to really just get into my talking. Okay. Now, for one, another reason I think that this was a girl is dudes do not say LOL heart. Okay, guys in the chat, y'all let me know. Do y'all put LOL heart? Okay, no, I don't think so. I think a girl did that. Now, this here made me think of what his dad said too, where it says he wanted this holiday to be epic. Okay, remember his dad said this was like his last hoorah prior to him going back to college and, his new season in sports, right? And sadly, it was in a different way. He had at least 20 to 27 videos and photos that were um, supposed to be, I guess, on his phone that are not on his phone. But they're saying they can be recovered. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Put a 1 if y'all can hear me. Maybe Lakeisha's behind in the video. Can y'all hear me now? Let me make sure. I was on mute at first. Okay. Thank you, inspiration. Okay. Yeah, I was on mute at first. So then it says from the island, some photos he would have deleted later. Okay. So to me, it seems as though at some point he could have been taking pictures um there on the island, like they mentioned earlier on, but pictures that he didn't like. Okay. That he didn't get a chance to delete at the time, but that would have still been in his phone. Now, check this out. Because remember, we're like, how would they unlock his phone if they don't have a code? Okay. Was it face recognition, fingerprint, or code? This person is saying allegedly they got his code from his phone. Okay. When they were at that pool party beating him up. Now, I don't know. They said, or it was, um, wait, let's see. It was unlocked. I guess that meant unlocked because he was recording as well. Okay. So either At one point, he was recording something and had already opened it, and they were able to grab it while it was open. Or if they were allegedly doing this to him, did they demand he give up his code? See what I'm saying? Because if his Snapchat was still showing location, and if Javon is saying his Snapchat showed a location, that's how they were able to get to the phone. That could have been how they could have gotten in there and got his Snapchat to still show the current location. So this could be a possibility, okay, right here. Please misspell any curse or trigger words. Okay. Now, just in case he didn't, Nolan recorded just in case he didn't make it. Ooh. He saw the blood in their eyes. Oh my gosh. Y'all, that thing is deep right there. Okay. That's deep. He saw the blood in their eyes and said he was recording just in case he didn't make it. Remember, they said, Nolan's dad said, Nolan had his phone all the time, okay, and said that he would even show up and pop up in his room with the phone all in his face. Nolan probably did have that phone, y'all, and it could have been possible if he felt some type of way on the island, okay, and uncomfortable coming back or whatever. At some point, did he have some type of proof in case? Like, hey, I hope they listen to this or see this. But the proof by the time they got his phone was all gone. No Snapchat. Now, this is something I wonder about too. Since they were all big on Snapchat, okay, was there any point that Nolan actually did post something on Snapchat? Because Snapchat posts it goes away, which means that were there any others out there that could have possibly heard what was going on in the midst of this happening? Okay, that's something I wonder too. They deleted stuff from his phone. Yeah, I believe so too. I'm gonna say allegedly. Greg, you think he had a face unlock? He probably was recording and it was open because iPhone, you said a screen lock. Okay. It's hard for me to believe they beat him up at the pool party and he still went with them to the island. What if it was the pool party on the 4th, though? You see what I'm saying? So if it was the 27th, then yes, I know I wouldn't go back with nobody if they beat me up that bad. But if the pool party was the one on the 4th, that could have definitely been different, like a Perez situation. Mm. Remember the punks huddled up at Denny's on the 5th and shared what Papa told them the plan. Yes, they were out eating allegedly. Yes.
Nolan recorded just in case he didn't make it and he saw the blood in their eyes. That's how they got into his phone. He was still breathing for a bit, but when they felt finishing him would be easier to get away with it, Nolan pleaded till his last breath that blunt steel pole or block is what ultimately killed him. He was laying between a bush and a building. Basketball goal was at his left. He was laying.
Okay, let's unpack this right quick. Okay. Oh boy. Mm, mm, mm. That's how they got in his phone. Okay. He was still breathing for a bit, so he was still technically still alive, allegedly, but they felt finishing him would be better or easier, I'm sorry, to get away with. Because think about this, y'all. Okay. See, they know how things run down there, anyways, that, we were on Horn Island and water was involved, and somebody probably came up with this elaborate plan of, let's just say he drowned. Hey, we know someone over there that does autopsies and things. They'll just put it down. He drowned. Well, to them, before this grew this big, to them, that probably was easier to get away with. For the simple fact, if y'all had allegedly beat him up to the point of almost death and Nolan got back home like that, they were going to jail for a long time. Because how do you get out of that? Okay, because see, now you would have him telling his story of what happened to him. Okay, y'all couldn't have gotten out of that part. But to y'all finishing him off and making it look like an accident, yeah, to y'all seem easier because people used to getting away with stuff. You know everybody in different doggone positions, and you're connected to people from judges to mayors to governors, police, medical examiner, and all of that. Of course, it would seem easier. Let's just put him back like he drowned. Whereas if you had beat him to a pulp and he had evidence allegedly on his phone, and he went back and told his mom and dad what had happened to him, y'all were going to be in big trouble. Okay? So, yeah, let's make it look like this was an accident. Hence, y'all, when Nolan's parents showed up there and they found his, I'm going to put in quotes, found his body, why did they not show his parents his body immediately? Knowing that these parents had been looking for Nolan for 2 days. If it was just an accidental drowning, y'all would have immediately said, oh, parents, come here. Fortunately, he just drowned and his body washed up. But for the simple fact that there could have been other things done to his body. Now, just because the independent autopsy results and that medical examiner said that, he couldn't see certain things, he didn't rule it out. The reason he didn't is because Nolan's body in some cases were so badly decomposed. The decomposition had taken in. That doesn't mean that it wasn't there. And if they allegedly had stored his body in a dark place, not refrigerated, of course, that is going to quickly decompose. And it's the summertime, it's heat. Okay, that is going to make his body, that is so sad that this young man's body must have really, so you got to think, from the time they got his body that Monday, had already decomposed a lot. Then hopefully they preserved his body enough when the medical examiner got his body. Then you had to ship his body to Washington. That's extra time of decomposition. Okay. So just because people want to be quick to say, well, the on the independent autopsy, they're saying that they didn't see any blunt force. They didn't see anything that could have been foul play. It wasn't that he didn't see it. He couldn't see it. His body was badly decomposed. Okay? And I think and I keep saying this, I believe, in my opinion, that was intentional. It was such a delay on things because it was intentional. He couldn't even have a date of death. He couldn't tell if he drowned or not. He didn't even have his throat area. Now, hence, if any of this happened, now we could even understand why that would be so critical to not send that part of his organs. What happened during this alleged fight that got out of control? Miss me with that. So the easier way out for this young man was to finish him off. That was an easier way out for the alleged murderer, whoever that was. Because they felt it was easier to get away with. Whew.
Hang down. Now, I will read the other.
Let me, hold on, y'all, because I wanted to read the last little part of that. This is horrible. I mean, even if this letter is not real, the amount of details in it definitely raises your eyebrows, okay? It definitely raises an eyebrow. I'm going to be honest on some stuff that we've seen before, okay? Now, the bottom of this says, Nolan pleaded till his last breath. Okay. Now that also coincides with that pool party scenario where they said that Nolan was screaming and he was yelling for his mom. Okay. That blunt steel pole or block. So they weren't sure. I don't know, pole or block, if it's something that looks similar, I don't know, is what ultimately killed him. He was laying between a bush and a building, which could be the shed. Because remember on the last page that we just saw from Willie D, they put him in a dark shed, okay? Allegedly. That's the building. Then it said, now check this out. The basketball goal was to his left. Remember the basketball goal in the pool? Now, if this was the same place, that means that was there a building out of range somewhere on that land? Or is there another basketball goal at another place? So that's something they should look into too, to kind of see if any of these details could be proven. Okay? Because this was a specific detail. If you think about hiking trail at a person's house where they usually go, okay, those are clues to look into. Even if we think it's not a real letter, these are things that they could at least look into to try to debunk. Okay, then it's this location. Do they have a shed? Do they have a basketball goal? Was it one, the regular ones that's in the driveway, or or was it a pool basketball goal? Because we do remember them specifically saying on the pool party one that Nolan was trying to gasp for air and blood was coming out by the basketball goal. Okay, so I don't know, but that's something else that they could actually look into. Um, and it said it was to his left. Oh, and they drew. Okay, did y'all see that? I just noticed at the bottom they almost drew a little diagram for us. So they have Nolan. They have, we can't really see the top of his head, and then they have like shed. They have a little question mark. Let me see. I'm gonna try to make it a little bigger for y'all. Okay, and then I guess next to the shed, I don't know if that says mom or are they just showing us that's where the basketball goal was. Maybe that's where the basketball goal was. But they drew a little diagram down there at the bottom. I hadn't seen that part before. Now, see, even that, yeah, possibly space gates. Okay, for them to map it out like that, they need to look into this. Okay, even if we don't think it's real, there are certain points in this letter that they can verify or not. How would this person know that they felt the way that they felt unless they could have been one of the individuals involved? Okay, like point of view. Now, let's see, what were some examples of where they talked about how they felt? Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. They felt finishing him would be. Oh, you know what? Point of view. You are so right about that, HGY. That's a very good point. Now, the thing of it is, okay, this means if they saw this much, it would be someone that was there. Definitely. If they knew about all of this, this wasn't no word of mouth. Because some of this, and we teach that in English, when you have the different point of views, first person, second person, third person, right? So this is how the author is telling it from the point of view of different people. And when they said they felt finishing, either you were there and had a conversation and y'all came to a consensus that, hey, I think we'll be better off just finishing them up and putting them out in the water. Okay. That's a very good point. How do you know what they were thinking? And how would you have this much detail unless you were there? Either they were there or they're the one that ultimately hit him and unalived him. But I think it was one of the people that was there. And they would have had to have been there throughout the whole day, like someone said earlier, for them to know this much information. Yeah.
Was at his left, he was laying down. Now, I will read the other two letters in a second, but again, we can't really confirm this because the autopsy said there were no lacerations or any bruising at all to his body. So I'm just reading this to you guys because it was sent to me, but in no way am I saying that any of this is real information. I just think all clues and all stones need to be unturned. Secret Service Sam Out Sampson for president of the world.
Okay. So, um, let's see. Beautiful Dreamer says, with all these chat groups, it could be hard to discern who's involved and who's in the group chat. Yep. But y'all, let's think about this. I believe, for one, this letter was written by a girl. So, in my opinion, that means it would have had to been a girl who was there as well, not just these boys, girl or girls. Okay, because we don't know how many people could have been around. This a guy did not write this. I feel like a girl wrote that. From that LOL heart and all of that, I think a girl was there too. Let's see. Ty Cager said, might be the drunk mom said she was scared. Mm, okay. Hey, Darlene, she said, hey, everyone, I just looked at the University of Wyoming camp practice. They had football camp practice on Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Right, Darlene. Now, see, I verified that. However, I need proof that the Simpson man was there because I know about the camp, but was he actually there? That's a way that they could tell if that picture was actually from the 27th or not. Hmm. You felt that too? Okay. How do you know what happened from start to finish unless you were involved? Right, HGY. Right. Hi, Miss Mabel. Hi, Antonio. Why send the letter to Sam instead of sending it to Crump? Well, do we know if she sent it to Crump or not? Whoever sent this, possibly. They may have. And they also, people also know. Hey, J Rose, good morning. Q Film Media, welcome. Um, People also know that Sam gets info out there. And y'all, they came for Sam too. He said his TikTok, since he's been covering the Nolan Wells case, is no longer monetized. So he lost his monetization. They banned Nerdy Pink Panda, her main account, which is so unfortunate. I see she's still posting though on Facebook as well. I looked at her TikTok last night. But they know Sam gets info out there. Hopefully, yeah, whoever wrote this letter, I'm hoping they also sent it to Attorney Crump and his team. Yes. Well, it was a camp for others, like other young kids that have aspirations to be in sports. And so the camp and volunteers, they come together. It's a whole like Bible study type of camp. They do, the whole like, summer camp, and then they break up into various sports. And you have the leaders of the teams there showing them how to play football, different drills and things like that. So it wasn't technically his training camp, but it was a camp for kids. But they have students from the college that play sports to come out and help. Uh-huh. Sherelle is a nutbag. That attorney, he's been on Tim TikTok late at night. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Obi still listen. Okay, thank you so much, Smiley. All right, y'all. So for this last part, okay, speaking of cover ups, I want to know what is Officer Tater Tot doing. Now, if y'all have noticed Tater Tot, he's looking bad. Okay. If you look at, and we're going to see two snippets of a video from, shout out to Poetic Flacco, Tater Tot, it's weighing on him. Okay. You can see it under his eyes and so forth. But see, now he's in too deep. He's in too deep. Even if he feels that these boys could have possibly been involved or done something wrong, he's in too deep right now. I don't think he would come out and specifically say it. Okay. But I think he knows some stuff. Now he has been caught, y'all. Poetic caught him in a full
Compliance. Cookie bite. Comply.
Let me get to. I gotta rewind it too. And I had to, y'all. I was like, wait a second, what? He caught him in a bold-faced lie. And see, with people like him, you got to show them receipts. Okay, you got to show them receipts. And he brought the receipts. Now, sir, why would you be caught up in a full, bold-faced lie? And I'm hearing that this snippet that we're going to see is no longer on Nancy Grace. Now, are they helping to conceal some of this too? Is my question. Okay, if he messes up, let him mess up. Why edit something out if he messes up? Okay, so let's get into it. Make sure y'all tap this like button as we get into this. It is for free.
At some point in this video. But here is what she has to say. Now, her page is on private, so we only have people reading what she said on her page. So this is what she had to say in terms of, the last sighting of Nolan. Now, apparently, she didn't just see Nolan by herself. It was her and her husband who witnessed this.
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
I don't know if they ever turned over the videos that they have to the police. I don't know if they ever gave a statement to the police. But that post is being read directly from their TikTok by Secret Service in. And the reason why we don't know if they've ever turned over information, if they ever spoke to the police, if the police have ever followed up on this, because the DA and the prosecutors don't speak to you unless you are an attorney for one of the boys. Okay? All right. Even the family can't get information from out these people, but somehow Bart attorney had all the information in regards to Nolan Wells' autopsy before the parents had it and Chris Cuomo had it. Like ain't that odd? These information is supposed to be secret and sealed, but somehow these folks have all the information before anybody else do, but they quote unquote ain't speaking, right? Cool. So we don't know. But what I can say is be very careful, okay, about somebody's initial reaction to this. If somebody's initial reaction to this is what you're about to hear, they're very sus, right? They are very, very sketchy, okay? Now, after you hear this, there's another factor that gets really deeper. Officer Tatum and his reaction to this tells me everything I need to know about this. Tatum's reaction to this should tell us everything we need to know about this, but we'll get there towards the end of this video.
Formerly in the public defender's office, they try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police?
Y'all, this man here I ain't gonna lie, I was tickled. Okay, I don't know if Nancy came in there mad yesterday. She was on one at the beginning of the show. This poor man, he was trying to talk, and she was like, I was like, wait a minute, Nancy. The man couldn't even get out what he was about to say. So I don't know what was going on with this guy. She hurried up and went to Officer Tater Tot and didn't even let the man finish his sentence. Okay. I was too done. Let me fast forward through that part though. Hold on. Let me go over here. Let me fast forward because y'all, that was too funny. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all got to go over there and watch that part. Oh,
Wow, look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important.
Everything on the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing Tatum say.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that. Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat, or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend, or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. No.
Tatum, what? Tatum, hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. Hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. You've never heard about this altercation before, Tatum? You mean wait, hold on, Tatum. I didn't hear that right. Play that. Nah. He didn't say that.
Your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real.
These people lie so much they can't even keep up with their own lies anymore. They tell so many lies they can't keep up anymore. But I fear this lie that Tatum is currently telling is the most nefarious lie of them all. I fear there's some truth to what we just heard. And Tatum is trying to cover up for it. And here's why. You see, Tatum told Nancy Grace after he heard the story that he never heard about this altercation. Nobody he had any contact with has ever mentioned this altercation before. But this was Tatum approximately 3 weeks ago on his channel talking about this very same altercation. Isn't this you, Tatum?
I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned.
Tatum was so convinced by that DM that Nolan had an altercation back and forth with somebody that he even went out on a limb to say he believed that somebody knows what happened to Nolan, somebody watched Nolan die, and he don't believe that Nolan drowned. Now, all of a sudden, after Tatum became buddies with the boys' lawyers, after the boy lawyers started to promote Tatum's bourbon and his liquor in all of their interviews, after they essentially got a partnership with Tatum, now all of a sudden, Tatum don't remember ever hearing about this altercation, but that ain't the only lie Tatum got caught in. No. In the last 24 hours, it got exposed. Damn near all of Officer Tatum, quote unquote, sources were all lies. He either made it up himself.
Hey, did you know you could create an entire animated series?
Or he's lying about everything he once knew because he realized those things now implicate his friends and his homies. Allegedly, I don't know. Okay. So
now that part. Okay. So then you start wondering, well, why? Why are, let me plug in my phone. My computer. Hold on, y'all. So then you start wondering, then why are you lying? If you knew about this earlier on, see, no one wants to be the last one to see Nolan Wells or to be there. Now, if this couple, what they're saying is true, then that shows that there was an alleged fight. Okay, he had already said it, but then why are you backtracking? That's why I said he's in too deep. He can't go against them now. So it's either let me throw something out here to throw everyone off, or oh, now he's putting it on them, y'all. Have y'all noticed that? The deflection. So if someone asks him something now, he knows it's not true. This is the new go-to. I'm just saying what they showed me. I'm just saying what they told me. Okay. He doesn't want them to say, well, you said it. No, he's putting it back on them. Okay. He doesn't want to be like, oh, in the beginning, I did say that there was this person. Well, I think that he feels that there's some truth to it too. Okay. The lie detector test has determined that Tater Turd is a lie. Okay. Yeah. He keeps now deflecting towards the boys. That's something I've noticed he started doing. He looks, y'all, if you see the difference, that y'all notice the difference in how he's looking, it's weighing on him. He is now probably seeing, especially after these last interviews with the trio on the Real House Bros of Ocean Springs, he probably has peaked more. See, his training now, although we cap on him and all of that, his training is kicking into gear. He knows that those boys are not fully being honest. Now, he also has to separate the ones that he's interviewed from some of the other boys. But my thing is, you're equally complicit, even if you know of some other potential friends that could have done something to Nolan Wells. If you are knowingly complicit in trying to cover that up, even if it's not the ones you've interviewed and purposely is one we want you to interview, that name keeps coming up, then you're still complicit because you know the truth, but you're failing to put that out here and you're trying to help them with their plan and their lies, allegedly. Okay. And now you're putting it more on them. No, Bradley, and welcome. I didn't see that. Right, LaShondra. Okay. So miss me with that. Oh, not the boys that I've interviewed. He's trying to be very careful in his wording. Oh, well, the boys that I interviewed did not lie about that. He's not saying none of the other ones a part of the friend group. Okay. Why is that? He's being very intentional on his wording.
That man just explained the exact altercation that person is describing. Nancy Grace asked him about the same altercation he already talked about 3 weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, he has no idea what's going on. He never heard of it. This man needs to be investigated, bro. Tatum needs to be investigated. They need to bring Tatum to the altar, bro. Because you can't keep getting away with this.
And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because
why do you think that's not significant? It is. Okay. It could have been a contributing factor to what led up to his death. Okay. That's like hiding key information. So what do you mean it's not significant? It's huge because no one wants to be the last one with Nolan. And it shows that there could have been possible harm to him before his ultimate death. When you're trying to make it look like an accident and bam, we hear of a potential fight, that's very huge. Then, okay, let's talk more about this fight. Who was it with? Okay, so that means that he wasn't left on the island. That's huge. That means he was on the boat. The call shows he was on the boat. All this time, we didn't hear about him being on the boat. So, miss us with that. Okay, it's very huge and relevant.
Because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after.
It may not be an altercation over another girl, but was there an altercation over something else? Possibly a phone, possibly something else. Okay, miss us with the semantics. Okay, he's being very careful in his wording. I'm gonna start paying attention because see, certain people like this, y'all, you gotta almost read between the lines and decipher their language. Okay, because I knew someone like this. Every time they say something, I was like, oh, this is what they really mean. Okay, so by him saying that, you may be aware of a possible altercation, but you probably know it wasn't over a girl. That it could have possibly been over something else. He's being very intentional on the way he's wording it.
An alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so
but Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear.
I'm not saying that doesn't matter when it pertains to what happened with Nolan. What I'm saying is, regardless of if the lady said he was hurt or not, the key is, was there a fight? Okay, keep it on what the whole question was. You trying to divert and say, oh, well, she never said if he won the fight. She never said if he lost the fight. Was there a fight? Go back to that point. Okay, because he's trying to do all of this going around with the semantics. No. Was there a fight? Well, she never said he lost it. She never. Quit that. Okay, we picking up on it. Quit it.
That there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular.
You see how Tatum has went from. Do you see how Tatum has went from, hey, I was told this, and I'll be real, man. Hey, bro, like, they're credible. And you know, listen, man, I now believe, I don't think he just drowned. I think somebody watched him die. Then shouldn't you still have that exact same trade? It's only been 3 weeks. Shouldn't you still think the exact same thing? Shouldn't you still believe what you said 3 weeks ago, which is, again, Tatum's exact word was, even if they didn't get into a physical altercation, I still believe somebody seen what happened, somebody watched Nolan die, somebody knows what happens. Then wouldn't this person be crucial and pivotal in figuring that out? Why is Tatum all of a sudden going against and attacking the very same information and evidence that he broke? Tatum was the first one to release this information 3 weeks ago. But now he's going against it. Now he's fighting against it. Now he's doing everything in his power to try to underplay it. Why? That's interesting. The only thing I could point to is, man, them boys got Verdict Bourbon in a background. When they do interviews now, they promoting your bourbon for you. So now all of a sudden, you don't want to concede an inch that could, make people look bad. That's odd, Tatum. That's very odd. Very odd here. See, this is not the only lie Tatum got caught up in. Y'all remember when Tatum came on his channel and he claimed that a source that was very credible, a source that's been 150% accurate, they told him that Nolan was on coke on the island. Y'all remember? I'm sure you guys do. Y'all remember that? Well, guess what?
Even in that, look at the letter, y'all, that we're reading. They said the W was on the Coca-Cola. Okay, so was there some truth to that? But not Nolan, but others? Come on now. I remember when he said that, because I'm like, why would you put something out like that? And there's no toxicology or no proof of that. They're trying to mess up this young man's credibility, his character. Okay. And then SoCal said, if we're going to be honest, the MS coroner left Nolan's body in that MS heat and humidity for 6 days. The DC coroner couldn't examine Ish. Exactly. That was my point. Okay, so technically, if you want to be honest, he couldn't examine some of this stuff. Okay, isn't it a crime to say you're an officer and you're not? He should be arrested for posing as an officer. Oops. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. You are 150%. Yes. Okay. So you may have heard something about the Coca-Cola, but it wasn't Nolan. Was it somebody else out there? Oh, wasn't none of the guys you interviewed. Got it. We'll wink. Okay. But it may have been in the story. That part could have came out. That, hey, Nolan probably captured some of that on video and then got upset. Is that how it went down? Was any of this part in this story true? Okay. That's what we want to know. Because see, now we're making connections because you brought that up. You mentioned the Coca-Cola first. Now we're seeing in this letter, now they're mentioning the Coca-Cola, but they're not saying Nolan did the Coca-Cola. They said W. Okay. Come on in. He brought that up as well. Yes. Most lazy investigators, this is what they do, sit on their hands and speculate. Okay, you're right. They botched the autopsy and investigation on purpose. Yeah, they wanted his body like that so that the medical examiner in DC could not find a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Very limited in his findings. My experience has left me with people are safe or unsafe because hate is everywhere. Yep, you're right. Hey, Detective Sheila. Yep, he jumped in it too deep and got played like the puppet that he is. Okay. So I'm gonna pause this here. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. Y'all make sure y'all check out that full video in its entirety on his channel. But I wanted to show the difference in when he first came out. He talked about that Coca-Cola, and then also how he caught him up in a straight up lie from Nancy Grace's channel. Okay, on yesterday when he had already spoken on that and was so sure about it. He spoke on it on his own channel. Okay, see, with people like that, you gotta show it to them, put it in front of their faces. Okay. Hey, like vegan Coca-Cola. Girl, you are silly. I want the world to know Simpson and others were involved in Nolan's death, along with others who were on that boat. All 7 of them, new names are coming out soon. So Paul is giving us an insider. He wants us all to know this on the screen. Okay. Shout out to Paul. Hey, Des D, welcome, sis. At least Crump called them out for that too, holding the throat. Yes. Shout out to Des D for the gold coin. Thank you, sis, and thank you for being a sponsor. Also, shout out to Butterfly Empress, okay, for the super chat and for also being a sponsor. She said, "Do you have your voice intentionally low and your video, your plan is louder?" At one point, yes. If I'm talking at the same time as the video, I'm going to sound lower. Yes. When I pause it, then I'll get louder. Mm-hmm. Jalen looks like he's about that life. Yes, J Rose. I think J Rose is behind in the video, y'all. Tater should have left this incident alone. This is the beginning of his end. Dude too dumb to do any real investigating, but he doesn't want to. He probably had a purpose that they hired him for, allegedly. Okay. And so he's just trying to work through that purpose. Yep. Now, y'all, okay. So we're gonna pause there for today, because I know we should be having some updates coming up as well, with the Carmelo Anthony case. So I know people want breaks and a lunch break and so forth. So that's what we're gonna put a pin mark here. There are some things that I want to continue with this conversation on tomorrow as it pertains to W. Okay, going into some the bigger picture of why certain people may not want a whole homicide to be there in Ocean Springs. You know, there's money at stake, okay? Business and tourism and things like that at stake, and may not want this to affect that, okay? Private eyes is known to do a better professional job than a public servant, very expensive, but it is worth it. Ooh, okay, Space Gates, that's good. It was stated that Grandpa Jerry is affiliated. Yes, J Rose. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Hey Irma, good morning, sis. Facts. This is the end of Brandon. He gonna get found. Ooh, Ooh, child. Hopefully, hopefully not. Okay, but I feel like he gonna learn a hard lesson. Okay, I'll put it like that. After dealing with this, when you dance with the devil, come on now. Child love. He comes but to steal, kill, and destroy. And you may think it's all good when you getting those clicks, views, attention, money, buying your product and all of that. They're gonna make it look enticing. But baby, when they done with you, okay, you're gonna be out here already looking a hot mess. Already, your eyes, the bags on your eyes, and so forth. You are in too deep. And if you have to be complicit in something like this, it's not even worth it. Okay. And Nolan probably hunting all of y'all until y'all tell the full truth. It's slowly coming out. Okay. It's 11:30 p.m. in Southeast Asia. Let's keep going. Okay. Not 11:30 p.m. there. When you dance with the devil, you better not miss a beat. Come on, HGY. You better say that. Okay. Thank you so much. Is it Ty Cager? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. Have you ever danced with the devil on a Saturday night? Oh yeah, from Jack Nicholson. Have you ever danced with the devil? Did he say on Saturday night? Babe, I've been having that line wrong all my life. Well, I thought it was something else. Right. The devil comes to collect, y'all. Okay, why this literally just brought me to tears. Nolan's spirit came to me as though he's dancing. Oh wow, she's talking about because she's behind, I think, in the video. I think she on the part where I was talking about the silver streak of light across the lake last night. I think that's what she's talking about. Um, but y'all, let's see here. I gotta try to figure out. I'm gonna when I come back, I'm gonna show those pictures that Brittany had sent because those of you came in late. She said that the three boys, the one who Officer Tater Tot just interviewed, they were on Zoom on the prayer vigil yesterday and said they had their camera on and everything. So she sent me those pictures. So I got to go through and find those, see the pictures. So hopefully. Oh, I don't know if I can see them like this though. Dog. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay, well, I'm gonna look into that, and so when we come back, because I want to see those, what they look like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to see them. Okay. All right, y'all. So shout out to the mods in the building. I think we just had a Mama Magazine Tea Lady Boogie. Okay, thank you, ladies, so much. Also, a special shout out to the sponsors on today. Unknown Donor, Isn't She Lovely? Hello, Barbara. Smiley. Shout out to Smiley for gifting 5 memberships. Okay, thank you, sis. Patrice, Linda, Shauna, Sugar Mama Maine, and welcome as a new member, sis. HGY, Des D, and Butterfly Empress. Thank y'all for being sponsors today. And shout out to the mods that, I mean, not the mods, the members that are lit up in green. Thank you all so much. And then also, if y'all would like to be a support, just hit the like button. That part is for free. You're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cash App, which is on the screen, or buy coffee. And those links are in the chat or the description field of this video. But I appreciate all of the support. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you keep a check on that community wall because I do share things there throughout the day. In any lives that we're, because sometimes the notifications don't come through. So just keep an eye out on the community wall for updates throughout the day. But thank y'all so much. Thank you so much, beautiful dreamer. I appreciate it. Thank you, inspiration. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day. And until next time, be blessed. And thank you, Irma, for being a sponsor. Hey, Kamashir. Now they're trying to come out because people talked about them not being at the service. Yep. Exactly. Trying to prove people wrong. Baby, you can't get over on us. We already peeped the play. Okay. So, nanny, boo, boo. I'll see y'all later. Until next time. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.